Um, I don't know who dog that is. I don't know whose it is. He does not listen. I want to come on here real quick before it gets dark because I'm under the garage and I shared with you all that I would come back on because I wanted to get some fall seeds started for before it got too late. But I also shared with you that I didn't like making the soil blocking mix. So I made the soil blocking mix, y'all. And we got enough to last us to the season. I like to make it in bulk. And I like to use the 1/2 inch soil blockers. But we got maybe about not quite half a tub, but enough to where we can be able to continue to get more seeds started, just for the simple fact I figured out that I do have like a little seed starting, a little seed hoarding problem a little bit. We've started most of these seeds up here, but these I want to start. Yeah, I got a little seed hoarding problem, y'all, but it's okay. So we just planted today 320 plants. We've planted a variety of flowers, vegetables, herbs. We planted a new variety that we had before. And so, hey, Devin, how are you? So we just planted that, but I wanted to share with you also, you like 320, yes, 320. So I'm gonna sit back down, but let me not put my back towards the garage, okay, y'all, because this is like the third time that the dog has came and it does not listen at all. And I don't know whose dog it is. But the soil blocks. So y'all know I love soil blocks. I don't necessarily like to make the soil block mix, but we have some seeds in the seed starting room in like 72-inch trays, and it's just starting to get a lot. And so I still need to start seeds. Again, we got flowers, vegetables, herbs, but I'm like, I got to start conserving space now. Yes. Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Headed to the water. That's nice. That is so nice. But I got to start saving some space because I only have so many heating mats and we only got 2 grow racks. And so I planted out some plants that we started about 3 weeks ago. We planted out calendula. We'll have that video coming out. But I'm trying to move the plants out. So I'm trying to harden them off, move them out because I need more space. Now it's still a little bit hot here in Georgia, zone 8A. But the temperatures, you could tell, are starting to cool. I'll probably start putting a lot of these plants out mid-September. And the reason why I say that is because this is 120 potential plants on this one. We got lettuce, we got broadleaf mustards, the broccoli rabe. I'm not going to give up on this one. This one here, for me, you got to time it right. If it's too hot, it'll bolt and it doesn't tolerate frost. And if you don't get those days calculated right, you ran out of time. So I'm hoping that this time is great. I started getting some, but I'm one of those people, like I just harvested my purple bell pepper today. I like to look at the plants and look how pretty they are, like on the I just like to look at them on the plant. Yes, broccoli is so funny, and this one is just so finicky, but I'm not gonna let it beat me. I'm not. Like, I will keep trying until I get like the perfect timing, and that's why I journal a whole lot. When I started it in spring, y'all know here in Georgia we have like a short spring, so it heat up so quick that it bolted and it started going to seed. And then last fall, it I planted it in the fall, but it didn't have enough days. And Atlanta last year we got 2 snowfalls. That's out of the norm for us. 2 snowfalls, snow twice, and then like a little dusting of snow. That's so out of the norm for this area. But we're gonna do it. So we got 120 here. We got 60 on this tray, 60 on that tray, and then 40 right here. So 320. And what I wanted to really share Because I've been starting seeds for a long time. I love, like, I'll still buy transplants. I want y'all to understand that. But I love starting seeds because this, like, for example, this is something that I'm not going to find locally at my garden center, whether it's like a small nursery or even like the big box stores. I'm not going to find that. I've never seen it here in Georgia. They carry what sells, and I don't know if this will sell or not, because the only reason why I learned about the broccoli rabe is when we stayed in Naples. This was big. They cooked this. This was kind of like the southern collard greens. This was their go-to vegetable right here. Um, and so but what I wanted to tell y'all is a couple of the seed packages says that light aid germination. Now, it just depends on the seed company about how much information or how in depth they go with seed starting. But most of them will say, you know, you need to cover it with soil, which means that means it needs some darkness. Or if it says lights aid germination, that means don't cover it. And so chamomile is another one that I plant in the fall as well, and it overwinters, because here in Georgia, when I tell y'all, we have about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of spring. It'll still be spring technically, but it'll start to feel like summer really quick. We have a really short spring. You have, let me tell you, no, I don't. We still have the same land. And I know that's what I was just getting ready to say. It's 320 plants. But so what I've been doing, and I did this even in Savannah. So I plant what I need and then I put the rest online and we sell it, because we now have our plant license and we have our seed license, and that's been working out great. I always plant more than what I think I'll need, because I've witnessed plants that are side by side, they're getting the same conditions, and one or two of them might check out. And if I plant the exact amount I need, that I have an open space. And so I always plant about 25% more than what I think I'll need. Now, do I need 320 plants? No, probably not. And we probably are going to put a lot of those online for sale. I'm pretty sure we did that this spring. And it was just so good talking to people that I met. A lot of them were just new to gardening, or they started seeds late, or they didn't start it in time. And so I just met so many beautiful people this spring here in the Atlanta area. But when it says it needs light to aid germination, then don't cover it. So this chamomile is fall planted. We're going to put this in our herb garden, but I'm not going to cover it. I do want to make sure it gets good contact with the soil. We want to make sure it gets good contact, but we're not going to cover it. And what I'm going to do is when I put them in trays like this, I put my grow lights. They're adjustable. And we'll do another live later on with the seed starting room. I like to have the grow lights about 6 to 8 inches away from these soil blocks, because I want a good strong light source. Now I am going to cover these. I've already covered the spinach. Oh, before I go, I want to tell y'all about the spinach. I used to have so many people, like when we grew spinach, to say, they used to say, I don't know why I can't get spinach to germinate. This is what I found out with spinach. Spinach likes to germinate at a cooler temperature. I don't put my spinach on a grow mat. And to be honest, with the temperatures around 65 at night, I could actually leave them on the patio and put like my humidity dome on there, and I think they would germinate just fine. But I'm still going to do it, because I'm not ready to, I've already cleared out one bed, but we still got peppers that are growing strong, because the temps are now about 85. And so we've backed out of, a few weeks ago it was 98, 99. That doesn't include the heat index. And so we still got plants that are growing, is what I'm trying to say. And so I don't want to pull the peppers too quick. And so that's why I'm going to keep them probably till about mid-September, and then slowly but surely we're just going to start transitioning how we did that one bed. When I sell, I plant way more than I need. Even when I don't sell, I start. Yeah. And you know, it's really like kind of to me like an insurance plan, because the simple fact that I'm telling y'all, I've started seeds inside. I've hardened them off. I've prepped my soil all the same way. And I've literally had just say a plant side by side and one just didn't make it. And so as we learn and as we grow, those are just things that I do to just say, okay, that one didn't like it there, but I got an extra one, or, you know, like that. And I always find, you know, people who, you know, don't let me find somebody who's like, oh, I'm thinking about starting a garden. Oh, okay, I got a plant for you. I got one for you. I keep extra plants. I keep some extra plants. So I totally get it. It's more like a in insurance plan for me. So we're going to cover these up. But y'all, I'm just so glad. I think I'm really excited for the simple fact that I got the soil blocking mix made. And I don't have to make any more for a while. But I want to tell you, soil blocking mix is different from seed starting mix, because with these soil blocks, they have to be at a consistency that when you water them, they just don't disintegrate everywhere. So sometimes I use coconut coir, some compost, some green sand, some rock phosphate. But the only reason why I don't like to make the soil blocking medium all the time, which is why I make a lot, is because I have to sift. Sometimes I use peat moss. I have to sift it real good and get it at a nice fine texture with nothing, no big pieces in there, so that the blocks will come out right. But it's different from this seed starting mix. This one right here, I just put the seeds in there and I cover it up. It's nice, it's light, it's fluffy, so that the seeds can use their energy to push straight up. They're going to push straight up on that. And another thing I want to share with y'all too is when you're planting seeds, be careful, depending on what seeds that you're planting, not to plant too deep. Now, the ones that said light to germinate, I just put them directly. I make sure they have contact with the soil, but I just kind of put them directly on top. And I don't know if you could see it, but these soil blocks have like a little indentation in there. So I do it like that. Now I am going to cover the lettuce up just a little bit because it does need darkness. The lettuce needs darkness. What was another one that I have planted before? A lot of times when I plant snapdragons, they like light too. So I just make contact with the soil and I don't cover it. But these I'm going to cover. We got kale. We have green glazed collards. We got mustard spinach, Florida broadleaf. But can y'all believe this is 120 plants on here? Then these are 60. And I always say potential plants because here's the thing. I tried to use up some of the older seeds, but when they're older, I kind of go heavy. And let me just share with you what I mean. So I had some seeds from 2023. So you'll see that they're like 3 to 5 in this on this little soil block. So I kind of go heavy. To me, seeds, even if they have 2025. So I got some new seeds. Let me share with y'all what I'm talking about. I got some new seeds and they are this year, but they say, where did I put them? They say they expire. Okay, here we go. So we got green glazed collards. And like I said, different seed companies put different things on here. I like when they put the germination rate on here because this helps me dictate, do I need to plant one or do I need to plant multiple? And what I mean by that is, since this has a 96% seed germination rate, this is the green glaze in the back, I'm only doing one per soil block. 96%, that's a good percentage rate. Now, some of the older seeds that are 2023, I did about 3 to 5 seeds per soil block because they're a little bit older. It's not that they will expire after 2025. The germination rate may go down. And so you may have to plant a few more seeds in one soil block or one cell tray than you would. But it's not to say that the seeds are not going to germinate because you got a date of pack for 2025. And so that's why you see a few of these seeds. They were like 23, 24. So I got about three to five on here. Now with the German chamomile, if y'all have ever seen those seeds, they're small. And I'm not finna try to fight with them and try to get one or two. I just put some on my toothpick, and then they just land where they are. I'll thin them out once they germinate. If a lot germinates, then I'll just thin them out. These little Caesar romaine lettuce, I'm trying those new too, and those are this year. Lettuce seeds normally have a pretty good germination rate, and they germinate really quick. So one of the things that I do is I always have a calendar, and I also have a journal. And so on my big calendar, like that I get from the Dollar Tree, I'll put, and I'm getting good, y'all. I'm really getting good about labeling. Y'all know I used to just put stuff there and think I'll remember it. But I put the variety, I put the date, and then I put the seed company. So this was Botanical Interest where I got those seeds from. And I just abbreviate it. But on my calendar, I'm going to put when I started them. So I'll put today, but then I'm also going to put when they germinate. This is what helps me know what germinates quick and what germinates a little bit slower, because there's some seeds that have taken me about 30 days to germinate. I was just sharing with someone that I started soursop seeds, and I know it's a tropical plant, and people are probably like, why did you start soursop seeds? Because the last time I started soursop seeds, they took about 45 to 60 days to germinate, and that's just like a little seedling. So I do have a space carved out in the seed starting room that are just going to be for those 12 soursop plants. We're just going to let them grow through the winter so that they can get some size. But your lettuce seeds, I just planted some Swiss chard. Those took about 2 days to germinate. That's what really makes me excited. But I'm sharing that with you because sometimes you can start seeds and some of them may take a little bit longer and you may get discouraged. Or if like some seeds take 30 days, you think that you did something wrong or it's not working. It's just that some seeds take a little bit longer to do that. A lot of my bell pepper seeds this year, they took about 7 to 14 days to germinate. But I knew that everything was okay because I go back to my journal and I go back to my calendar and I look about, and varieties differ too, but I look about, okay, how long does it take? Same thing with like parsley and sage, because over here, so really quick, my smaller seeds, I really like the soil block because I have more control over it. But you always have to have a plan. They can't stay like this for a long time. And my plan is to let them germinate, and then harden them off for a week. And we're going to put them directly into the garden. Like if I have started other seeds and I'm not ready to put them in the garden, I need to pot them up, or I need to pot them up either in something a little bit bigger, individual pots, or I got a big soil blocker that's like a 2-inch soil blocker. So I have to think about what am I going to do? So I don't mind starting these seeds because I know that we're starting to come up to the fall, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to harden these off and I'm going to put them directly in the garden. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit that 90 again before fall. But that's where my shade cloth is going to come in, because I don't want all of my hard works of starting all of these 320 seeds. And I'm not done yet either, y'all. I got to start some more herbs and I got to start my snapdragons. I don't want all of my hard work to go to waste. Like if it gets back up in the 90s and I planted it out, and then they'll bolt and go to seed. And that you definitely can tell the change in there. So this is like 280 seeds, and I love it because these trays are not going to take up a lot of space on the grow rack or on the heating mat. And then we have these right here. This is just like vegetables. No, these are not vegetables. These are the violas. Then we have some parsley. Then we have some oregano. And then we got some beets right here. I went a little heavy on the beets because these were 2023 as well. And again, it's not to say they won't germinate. The germination rate may go down a little bit. So I'm just going to take a thin layer because these are small seeds. You don't want to plant them too deep, but I'm going to take a thin layer, and I'm just going to cover this lightly. I am going to put these on the heating mat. The only ones I'm not going to put on the heating mat are the spinach. They like it to be a little bit cooler for them to be able to germinate. I'm still going to put them up under on the seed starting rack under the grow lights. We're just not going to put them on the heating mat. If you're not subscribed to us, I want y'all to hit the subscribe button because we're going to go down to the seed starting area once everything starts to grow so I can show y'all my next steps, what we're going to do, how everything is germinating, because everything may not germinate at one time. That's another reason why I like soil blocks. So I like to put, if I'm not planting like a whole tray of one, I like to put what has about the same germination rate in the thing. Not to say that you can't mix it, but I like to kind of group them together. But with the soil blocks, since they're their own individual plant, like even if this set doesn't germinate when this set germinates, I still can go ahead and maneuver and pull these off while still letting these grow right here. I mean, you could do that for this too, but I just want to have a plan. But all of these in here, the Florida broadleaf, all of the leafy greens, give it about 3 to 5, no more than 7 days. And I'll show y'all, I'll come back on, like they will be germinating. So I feel super accomplished today because I started out planting some things in the raised bed. And then I kept saying, I've been saying for like 2 weeks, when I get off, I'm like, you got to get the soil blocking mix made. But then I'm like, I got to pull out the filter and I got to filter the thing. And then it's just going to be so long. And then I got to cook, that's what I was telling myself. But today, after I planted the calendula and a few herbs in the garden, I'm like, you have got to get this done. Like, you've got to plant the leafy greens, because I'll be honest with y'all, you could plant your leafy greens in here too. But since this is a little bit deeper, you got to be careful about the depth of how deep you plant this. You don't want to go down, like you don't want to put your finger or dowel in like halfway down and plant a tiny seed like this. I have more control over the 1/2-inch soil blocks. Even when I do pot them up, like you could pot them up to the 2-inch soil blocks, they're so easy to maneuver. You just take it and then you just take this one block like that and you just put it down in the 2-inch soil blocker, and then it just continues to go on. But like I said, with this year, we're not going to pot them up. We are going to harden them off and we're going to put them in the garden. And if we got to do a shade cloth, that's what we're going to do too. So I just wanted to share with y'all. I want to take you along. We got some good stuff that we want to try this fall. And we got some good stuff that we're growing. Y'all know one of my goals is to continue to expand, to grow more and more so that I can be self-sufficient and not have to totally depend like on the grocery store. I don't want to have to totally depend on that because I don't know if y'all have noticed. I mean, we can't do anything about it, but I just harvested a lot of purple bell peppers. I'll say about 10 purple bell peppers that we started from seed. And I just said to myself, like, just the savings of me, one seed, and the purple bell peppers are not done, but just the savings of, knowing that it's fresh, knowing how it was grown, and just, being able to grow your own and not have to pay the prices if you want a bell pepper. Like, it's just, to me, it's like freedom. When we go into the fall season, knowing that I can make my own salad, harvest my own lettuce, harvest my own leafy greens, and not have to depend on things. Because I'm going to tell you, I won't say the grocery store name, but last Sundays I like to go and just go to the grocery store. But a lot of things they was just picked over. And I asked the lady, I said, do y'all have some more kale? And here lately, they just immediately tell you no. They don't even want to look in the back. They like, nope, we ain't got no more. It was yesterday. I went in the store and I was like, do y'all got some more of that? Nope, we don't have no more. I'm like, You don't even know what I was about to say. Like, how do you know you don't have no more? But anyway, maybe they didn't have any more. But just being able, like I always tell y'all, you don't have to like start a farm. I do believe in community, but just knowing the skill of growing and knowing how to grow your own so that if you need to, you can. To me, it's so therapeutic to me. Like, I just love going outside, looking at the bees, the butterflies, being able to harvest that. I have never, not even, nope, not even at, maybe at the farmer's market. Maybe at the farmer's market. Like at your regular grocery stores, they don't sell purple bell peppers. And that's why I like to start my own seeds, because I know that the grocery store is not going to sell, not by me, broccoli rabe, because a lot of people have not heard of that. This was a vegetable that I learned about by staying in Italy. A lot of people have not heard of some of the vegetables. So starting your own seeds gives you that choice of, I want to grow this. Now you still got to make sure that it grows in your area, grows in your zone, although it may be native to like another country or something, but just the fact that you will be able to know how to grow, because it really starts with making sure that soil right. I've been putting up a lot of posts trying to get all of us geared up for fall. And some of the posts that I keep putting up is, you can have the best seeds ever. You can plant the seeds, you can start the seeds in these cell trays. But the fact of the matter is if you don't have your soil right, you're gonna struggle with growing, and you're gonna think it's you, and you're subject to give up. So you got to make sure you prep your soil. So I'm gonna get ready to cover these, y'all, really lightly, and we're gonna take these down to the basement. Again, if you are not subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, because once everything starts germinating, I want to share with you how I go from there. What do I do next? So we'll talk about all of that, but make sure you subscribe and make sure you turn the bell on so that you know when you're going live. So thank y'all for your time tonight. We have to, hold on, we have to independent to a degree. Yeah, you do. You do have to become independent. You do. You're right. I totally agree with that. And that's why you really need to have that skill. I'm not saying you have to grow a lot. Start with one thing and learn how to, master that. And then 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, you will start to want to expand. I've talked to a lot of people where I just say grow one plant, and by the time I talk to them again, they're up to like 5 plants, and they love it so much, and they love the taste of it. If y'all could just smell my bell peppers right now, I'm just like, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. But yes, you do have to think about that, because right now we don't know what's going on from one day to the next. And so I'm not saying that I'm growing enough to where I don't have to go to the grocery store. I mean, I still have to go to the grocery store and pick up some things, but it just feels good when, you don't have to buy bell peppers. You don't have to buy tomatoes, in the fall. I don't have to buy leafy greens. I still may have to, I don't know, to winter tomatoes. Even though y'all know I love a salad, but them winter tomatoes, a lot of tomatoes at the store, I just be like, why are you even buying it? Why? Because once you get that taste of homegrown and freshness, it's a difference, and you can tell the difference. That's why I give a lot of my produce away, a lot of my herbs away as well, is because I want you to experience that. So maybe that will just kind of motivate you to grow a little bit more. And even with the herbs, y'all know, with our herbal teas and our herbal blends, I mean, I pride myself in saying these herbs have not been stuck in a warehouse for a year or two. Like, we're about to get ready to put our holy basil that we just harvested and dried a few weeks ago. That has not been sitting in a warehouse. We harvested from our herb garden, washed it, dried it, and now we're about to package it up and put it on our website, auyannaplants.com, by the way, and we're going to offer that. This is not your stored in the warehouse herbs. These are fresh. These were just harvested this season, and you're going to be able to tell the difference. And the reason why I know is because everybody that has bought herbs from me asks me, once they sell out, because they do sell out, they always ask me, are you going to grow some more again next year, or when are you going to have some more in? I have a lady right now waiting on lemon verbena from me, and I'm going to do a cutting, but it's fresh. And then she says she tells the difference, like with the smell, the taste, and then like the way it relaxes her. Herbs have different effects on people. I just like lemon verbena because the smell, the taste, and it's just really good in a tea. But she said that it relaxes her. The holy basil, that's what I drink at night. When I'm like, okay, I need to go to sleep. I just got to calm myself down. But like I said, I'm not a doctor. So what I'm saying is for entertainment purposes only. And you always got to talk to your doctor if you're on medication. I just have to put that out there because to me, herbs and plants are medicine. And if you're on medication, it could amplify it or it could lessen it. So you always have to be careful about that. But we're about to put, as a matter of fact, when I go take these plants down, I'm going to go ahead and package the holy basil. I want to have that out by tomorrow morning, no later than Monday, because I know a lot of people have been waiting on it. So if y'all been waiting on the holy basil, y'all are the first to know. Y'all are the first to know. Probably by tomorrow, I have to put it up there. I always have to go on the back end and do my inventory and see what we have. But it's good. It's not your warehouse herbs. I will tell you that. It's grown right here. We grow organically. We don't put chemicals on our herbs. I only harvest it when I feel good, because you could put, I'm a firm believer of, if your energy is off, if you off and you go harvesting herbs, selling to people, I only harvest them like, it's just like my intuition says today is a day for harvesting. And then we dry them. And they just like packaged with love, made with love, grown with love. So I want y'all to be able to experience it. So I'm going to go put all of my 320 plants down, y'all, in this basement. But again, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to take y'all down there, show you the lettuce that we already got growing, show you the Swiss chard, show you these once they germinate, how they look. And I want to encourage you to grow. Okay, y'all? So y'all have a good weekend. I'll try to be back on again between Sunday and tomorrow, because I still got some more things that I want to plant, but I want to go ahead and get these seeds up. I store my seeds in a cool, dark place. It's still hot and humid, and I don't want to leave my seeds in the garage. I'd be real funny about my gardening stuff, y'all. I have a special place for my seeds, and it's not in the garage. So I'll talk to y'all real soon. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye, y'all.